This is a screencast on WebAssign number 2 in the Redox unit, and we're going to look at balancing half and full reactions. So question number 1, I'll let you figure that one out. Question number 2, we're balancing half reactions, and half reactions will have electrons left in it. So let's take a look. Cu arrow Cu2 plus. We check to make sure the coppers are balanced 1 and 1. Now we have to do the charge. That side's 2 plus, that side's 0. We'll add 2 electrons because that's all we can add are minuses, because a 2 minus and a 2 plus will end up being 0. Next one, Ce4 plus, arrow Ce3 plus. We have one Ce, but we have a charge of a 4 plus and a charge of a 3 plus. They need to be equal. So we'll add 1 electron on this side, because a 1 minus and that will add up to a 3 plus, and that will equal that. Next one, Sn2 plus, arrow Sn4 plus. 1 Sn, a 2 plus, a 4 plus. We will add 2 electrons to this side because a 2 minus and a 4 plus will add up to a 2 plus, which then equals that side. Look at lead, which is Pb. Plumbum. Clever word for plumbers. Utukis. So Pb, arrow Pb2 plus, 1 Pb, 1 Pb, charge of 0, charge of 2 plus, add 2 electrons to this side, a 2 minus cancels a 2 plus to be 0. Now we're going to balance some that are in an acidic solution. This one involves a little more work. We'll balance the atoms, then we'll balance the O's, H's, and electrons. And the O's we do with water, the H's we do with H pluses, and the electrons we do with electrons. So N2 goes to NO. 2 of those, 1 of those, so I'll add a 2. Now I have 2 O's, and no O's on this side, so I'll add 2 waters. And when I add the waters, it disrupts the H's. 2 times 2 is 4, so on this side I need 4 H pluses, and now I look at the charge. 0, 0, how do I know that? Because there's nothing written up there. And that one is 0, we've got to have these equal, and that's a 4 plus. So we're going to add, I just threw my pen, 4 electrons to this side, because that 4 minus and that 4 plus will cancel to be 0. This next one, HClO yields Cl minus 1 Cl, 1 Cl, 1 O, add 1 water. Now I have 2 H's, 1 H, add an H plus to this side. Now look at the charge, a 1 plus, a 0, a 1 minus, and a 0. So, sorry, I had 2 H's on this side, so I need to add 2 H's. So that's actually 2 plus, so I need to add 2. I say it must be cracked up. It wouldn't be the first time. Let's see. We had a 1 minus and a 0, and that's a 0, and that's a 2 plus, correct? Oh, I just needed 1 H. What am I thinking? I've done this too many times. So that's a 1 plus. I have to add 2 electrons because a 2 minus and a 1 plus will add up to a 1 minus, which then equals that side. Next one. N2O to N2. Two N's, 1 O. Now I have a 1 O, but now I have 2 H's, so over here I'll add 2 H plus. And now I need to balance the charge. That's a 2 plus, a 0, a 0, a 0. So on this side I need to add 2 electrons because a 2 minus and a 2 plus will cancel to be 0. Now these next ones are full reactions, and in full reactions we cannot leave the E's in there because it means a complete reaction happened and the electrons are not left in the final answer. And we have to break them up into halves. And we find like terms to break it up into. So I'm going to break it up into that part first. So I'll go Cr2O7, 2 minus, arrow Cr3 plus, 2 Crs, 1 Cr, so I'm going to put a 2 there. Now I see 7 O's, so on this side I'm going to add 7 waters. That just doesn't feel right, does it? So now I have 7 O's, but now I have 14 H's. So on this side, I'm going to add 14 H plus. Now I got to do the charge. That's a 14 plus, that's a 2 minus, that's a 6 plus, and that's a 0. And they have to be equal. So I think I will add 6 electrons. A little plus sign there. So a 6 minus, and that make, actually let's look at it this way. 6 plus 2 is 8. 14 minus 8 is 6. Now it's equal. I'm going to get rid of this, otherwise I'll get confused. More confused than I am usually. Now do the next part that matches the i's. I minus goes to I2. I have 2 i's there, so I need 2 i's there. And now I have a 2 minus on this side and a 0, so I need 2 electrons on this side, and this is a great chance to check and make sure you're on track. If your e's are on the left-hand side in the first one, and the second one, they need to be on the opposite side. If they end up on the same side, you did something wrong. Now, our e's need to be equal because we have to get rid of them in our final answer. So here I see I have 2 e's, and here I see I have 6 e's. What I am going to do is multiply this whole thing by 3. Did you see that subtle 3? There's a 3. And let's go through and do this. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now when I add the like halves, so this side of the arrow I'll add up, and that side of the arrow I'll add up, and I cancel like terms. So that and that, those e's will cancel out, so I don't even write them in my final answer. So it looks like I have 14 H plus Cr2O7 2 minus plus 6I minus arrow. Now notice I don't have it the same order they have it in. It doesn't matter the order as long as it's on the proper side of the arrow. Yields 2Cr3 plus 7 aguaventes plus that 3 I2s. Let's check. I got the 3 I2s, 3 I2s, 2 CRs, 7 of those, and it's balanced. And you should actually be able to check that you have the same number of H's on this side as you do on that side, the same with the other elements, and you should be able to check the charge. The charge on the left side and the right side should be equal, so you can check your work before you turn in a test. This next one, letter B, all that you can be, and the Army. So this one's a little wonky. We have CU goes to that, but it has I in there, so I think we need to break it up into a really weird way, but we can do it. We can do it. All right. So I have 1 CU, 1 CU, 1 I. The charge on this side is a 2 plus and a 1 minus, which adds up to a 1 plus. And over here we have a 0. So I believe we need to add 2 electrons, because a 2 minus would cancel that. Did I do that right? No, we just need 1 electron. I'm wrong with that. Let's try that again. Then we'll look at our charge. We need 1 electron, because a 1 minus and a 2 plus and a 1 minus would add up to 0, which we got 0 over there. Okay, let's erase that. Now we'll do the I's. This is where it gets strange, or it feels a little bit strange. I minus 2 I2. I can't read it up there because I wrote over there. So we're going to do 2 I's there, and that is a 2 minus. So on this side I need 2 E's, and I look at my E's. Are my E's equal? They are not. So that upper one, I will multiply that whole thing by 2. So let's go through there and see if we can do that. 2 times 1 is 2. 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 And now we're going to add the left sides and the right sides, and we'll see if we actually end up with what the answer is. And I might include some stuff in there. So 2E plus 2CU, 2 plus 2I minus plus 2I minus, arrow 2CUI plus I2 plus 2E minus. it looks like that and that match, so I'm going to erase them. I know on your paper it's not going to be so pretty. And now let me combine some like terms. Let's move to even a new color. So I think those will combine. So we'll have 2Cu 2 plus 4I minus arrow 2Cu I plus I 2. Sweet. Now, honors chemistry has to balance the basic ones, and this question is a repeat of the previous question. So I'm going to write down the answer from the previous one, and all we do to balance it in a basic solution is to add OH minuses to both sides, and then we have to combine a lot of like terms. So I think that one up there was 6I minus plus Cr2O7 2 minus plus 14H plus arrow. I'm going to have to write this on another side, and let's do it in a different color just to keep them visually separate. 3I2 plus 2Cr3 plus 7 waters. So we identify the H pluses. Here is my H plus. And I add equal number of OH minuses to both sides. So over here, I'm going to add OH minuses, and I'm going to add 14. And on this side, which is the right side, I'm also going to add 14 OH minuses. And what's going to happen is that 14 hydroxides with the 14 acids make 14 waters. We're going to rewrite this thing. So we'll have 14 waters, again, plus 6I minus, because there's no other I's to combine with, plus Cr2O7 2 minus. So I got rid of those. But on this side, I still have 14 OH minuses, because that means it's basic, plus 3 I2s. I don't think there's anything for that to combine with, plus 2 Cr3 pluses, plus that water. And I think I wrote that water down. I think it's 7 waters. So now we look at any like terms. We have 7 waters there and 14 there, and if this was math and that was 14x and that was 7x, you'd go minus 7x over here, minus 7x on this side, and what you would get is the difference on the side that it was bigger. So on this side, we're going to get 7 waters. Let's check. 7 waters, 6I minuses, that, we got that, we got that, and we got that. And the charge and the elements should all equal on both sides. Now this last one is the same as the one above it because there are no oxygens or hydrogens in there, so it's not really acidic or basic at all. It's just the same thing. I hope this helped, and I will see you in class.